You're now listening to the Kentucky Gentleman Podcast, hosted by Josh, Blake, Hayden, and Combs. Today's episode is featuring a special guest, Joey. We hope you enjoy, and let's get to it.
Cheers! All right, y'all, we're the
That was
Kentucky
a solid
Gentlemen,
cheers.
and we are back for episode 5. And our buddy Lil Bean, the Hayden, couldn't make it out tonight,
No,
so
sir.
as a replacement, we have our buddy Joey. And
Our special
Fun
guest.
fact about Joey, the most important thing relating to the podcast, Joey won our first giveaway from the last video.
yes.
True.
We will
Yes,
have
I
more.
did.
We will have more.
So-
He won it fair and square. We said the only way you could be eligible is if you comment, like, subscribe that you wanted it. He was the only one to do it, so he got it.
No,
proud owner of PUBG.
surprise
Absolutely.
add-on
Never
to the
had it
giveaway.
before. I've never
But
played
let's
it
hear
before.
from Joey. Let's hear from Joey. I want to know about your background and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, howdy. My name's Joey. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I am a computer science major. Fascinated in computers, fascinated in AI. I like data structures, literally everything about that kind of stuff. Originally, I was an aerospace engineering major. Really liked rockets, really liked rocket thrusters and rocket propellant specifically. I thought that shit was awesome.
But you were at the University of Alabama, right?
Yeah, I was at the University of Alabama studying that. You know, Roll Tide, to all you Roll Tides out there, you know what's
Hell
up?
yeah.
I bleed Crimson, boy, but like,
My
you
dad
know.
used to work for
We
Nick
all bleed
Saban.
crimson.
actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you used to work for Nick
Biological.
Saban?
Yeah.
Nick Saban's my
No, his
fucking
dad
daddy,
used to
man.
sell Nick Saban jets.
Nick
Yeah.
Saban.
He didn't work for him. He sold him jets.
Pass me
Good.
pass me a
God,
cig
man.
on that note.
Yeah, man. Nick Saban is a god. All right, I can tell you stories about Alabama later on, but like, yeah, I'm now here at WKU studying computer science. Love that kind of stuff. It's my calling. It's my passion. Anything computers, I got you.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you here at the podcast, and welcome to the Bluegrass State. We're a bunch of Kentucky boys out here
Well, I
just
mean, I
having
was
a good
born.
time.
Well, I wasn't born here, but I was raised here, man. I was
All right.
raised.
Where were you born?
I was born in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Oh, okay,
No
that's
way.
for aerospace. It's all
Yeah,
starting to
man.
make sense.
Hey,
Okay.
fun fact: my first word was plane.
Plane.
Not
Wow.
even kidding. My first word was
No
plane.
way.
Yeah, because
So-
back at my grandparents' place, like they lived right next to an airport, so I used to always go to my grandparents, and the planes would be flying over, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, plane, plane. That was my
I was born in Wichita, the airplane building capital of the world.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
really?
And my first word was Einstein. 'Cause
Einstein?
we had
Really?
We had a dog named Einstein.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
How
have
about
one of
y'all?
those?
What was y'all's
Awesome.
first word?
I suppose but I told
I have no clue.
I told my aunt I loved her.
Nobody has ever informed me what my first word was.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's probably
it's-
some stupid shit.
I told my aunt I loved her. So
Dude, it's fucking cool that my cousin's first word was Joey. I thought that
Quickly.
was
That's dope.
Oh, that is.
yeah, I
cool.
was like, hey, hell yeah.
And quickly deviating off that fact, I got another curious thought. What was like a cute word that you like messed up as a kid? Like I called ketchup dup for like until I was.
That's kind of
Bro,
cute.
I don't know. Do you think I would remember when that
Pass
far
like
back?
a ton of-
Dup
And
me some
then
ketchup.
for grandma, my super young mind came up with more mommy. 'Cause
Bro,
I
I've
couldn't
always
say
been
grandma.
More
eloquently
mommy.
spoken.
yeah, I can't really think of one to my knowledge. I think pretty verbose. So.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so
anyways,
let's get
yeah,
to the
Joey
tradition.
Jackson, computer science
And
guy,
Joey-
meme master.
Joey,
right
we're
here.
going to
yeah,
get you
Joey-
in on the IPA review, though.
Joey
That's one of the
works on-
things we do on the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to
Because
the
we review
subreddits
some
later.
IPAs.
Yeah.
So, you've got an IPA in front of you. Tell
I
me,
do
go ahead
not
and tell
have
me
an
what
IPA
it is.
in front of me. This is not an IPA, but there's one in there that I do
There's
want
one
to
in the
try.
Gotta
fridge.
pop
What
it.
is this, though?
Dude, that was some. It tastes like chocolate, man. It's fucking
It's a
delicious.
smoked porter,
Mm-hmm.
Young Hickory.
That's
It's
the
not
one.
an
Let's go
IPA.
This
Oh.
is this isn't even an IPA. This
I'm
is an
good.
Ubu
No,
Ale.
it's pretty good.
It's an honest alcohol review. It'll work.
Yeah, I've never had Ubu Ale, but I'm a very big fanatic of beer.
I need a
love
bottle
beer.
opener, Josh.
Dude, what do you mean? Just
There
use
was
your
one
feet
on the
like that.
table.
Oh no, don't. Oh god.
Oh!
That was
Oh
his
yeah, we're
tooth.
serious.
He just bit open a beer, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
god.
Man, come on now.
Man.
Alright, let's give this an
We do
honor
have
from
a
here.
bottle opener from Barbados. for-
We do have a bottle opener, but
Yeah,
that's
I
not
know.
a
Spare the
Start with
tea.
label.
I've got that strong.
Tell the viewers what you're looking at.
So I'm looking at a Lake Placid Craft Brewing Ubu Ale from Reeltown. That's just
UB.
Reeltown.
Do the
Dude.
mold check
Ooh.
from
I don't know
last
where it's
episode.
from.
We had a
Oh
mildew
yeah,
beer.
yeah. Smells fine. I don't really see any
This-
mold in here.
No mildew on the side.
It's just fermented well
Nah,
now.
it's good. It's good. It's aged to perfection. Ubu Ale. The
Should we
Mountain
shine
Village of
lights
Lake
through these
Placid.
beers and see if we see cultures on the side?
think we're good.
So, looking at this label, I'm seeing a good wood-looking lawn chair in front of a bunch of mountains and some forest.
Where was
looking.
it made?
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
What
I literally do not know. It does
Here,
not.
let's do some investigating on this bottle.
Yeah.
Check-
Before I taste that
let's
thing, I'd
see.
like to know.
Check that description. I think it would
It's,
probably be right
let's
here.
Let's pull it up.
Real
Lake
town,
Placid.
real beer.
Oh shit.
Utica, New York.
New York.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
We've
I didn't get
had-
a New York vibe
We've
from that.
we've had
We
quite
haven't mentioned
we've
Dylan
had a
yet.
few New York.
Oh yeah, we
beers.
haven't mentioned Dylan
Oh
yet.
yeah, we do have another guest here within the studio. Dylan here. Yeah, say what's up.
What's up, guys?
So Dylan is gonna be Joey's sober ride home tonight because we've got a guest from outside of our he's just down the road too far. So we got him a sober ride. It's one of his roommates.
We're responsible here.
Hell yeah. So everything's gonna be good. You can
Alright.
run the Google.
Let me try this beer real quick and tell you, I've never had an Ubu Ale before, so let's try it.
I didn't even know that genre existed, if I'm being honest.
An Ubu L.
Wow, it's very smooth.
Okay.
Is it?
Very smooth. It's not, the flavors aren't overpowering, but
Any
they're
hints of
definitely there.
seawater from the bay or anything?
No hints of seawater.
Any
but
clam juice
it's
or
not
sea salt.
It's not incredibly hoppy.
I don't know. It's got a lawn chair on it. It should taste. It's got mountains on it too.
Yeah,
It's,
what mountains
it's a
are in New
beach
York?
chair.
Man?
It's a beach chair.
It's Lake Placid.
on the background of
That'd be
mountains.
And-
Do y'all remember when that dude had the miracle on the Hudson and landed that plane in
Yes.
the river in
Yeah,
New York?
dude, that shit was
Wasn't he
awesome.
not even a
That's-
pilot?
Dude, no, he was a
Surprisingly
pilot. He was a
well-received.
very good pilot. He was in the
Okay.
Air Force and everything. But then he fell under a lot of scrutiny because they said you could have done something else. He landed a plane that was going down, engines out.
No one heard.
Nobody hurt or killed, and they still criticized him. He still had to go to federal
Hey, I'm
court.
gonna bring some
Bullshit.
computer
But he passed.
stuff
He
to
got
you
through
right
it.
here. They did a bunch of computer tests to see whether or not he could have diverted it in a different way.
No one could replicate it.
Nobody could replicate it.
It was
If
a
he-
miracle.
It was a
Yeah.
miracle. If he had changed course like seconds after what he did, he would not have landed the plane
Because
correctly.
you have
All these
to
different
account for
simula-
human error.
Exactly. All these different simulations that they did to see, like, oh, this man could have done this or could have done that, all ended up with the plane crashing.
Yeah.
But what he did after that bird had destroyed the engine, what he did saved every single person on that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
nobody perished.
He landed in the Hudson Bay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Hudson River, right?
Hudson River.
Yeah.
I think that's foreshadowing to our future discussion involving mechanics and human beings, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, what if
Because Joey,
what if the
let's
plane could have
preface
been
this story,
engineered
though.
to
You said it
avoid the
yourself that a
crash?
machine couldn't figure out how he did it. But
Let's
mankind,
preface this.
mankind
Joey and
figured it
Blake,
out.
we're all very good friends. We hang out when we're not even podcasting. We hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And Joey and Blake are two very intelligent individuals. I'll tell you that. But they have a debate that is ongoing in group snaps,
Can we
in
sum this
person.
up
It
to-
never stops.
to
But it's
3
pretty
points
interesting.
each? I think we should.
It's
each
about the brain.
pick out
points?
our top 3 favorite points.
Okay.
Sound good to you?
Yeah. Do you want to
Handshake.
start? Handshake?
I'll go one. You
Handshake.
go one. I go one. You go one.
Sounds good to me.
Me
Sounds
and
good to me.
Combs will
And
referee
the third
this.
point is just kind of a toss-up, but my first point is that the brain is something that is so complex, and it is run through neural membranes that are in layers and chunks that all do their own specific jobs, and they're capable of sentience and picking up on emotional patterns, things like that, whereas a computer runs off of a database, and it is using information that it has access to or access to create or knowledge of how to find, whereas the brain is not limited to things like that. We create new forms of measurement, new forms of observation, all of that, and we use it, and it develops the brain develops itself. It's its own software.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel as if I don't see a way in which technology could replicate something like that. And if you'd like to rebut with a point, that'd be where.
Okay, so the way I see it, when humans are born, when you're a baby, you have no knowledge of the world whatsoever, except you have your...
Can I?
Yeah.
Instinct.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You have your
You have a lot of
instinctual
knowledge.
things, which are essentially pre-programmed into you. So what I'm saying is, if a computer was given the ability, to be born, with quotations, into this world with just its basic instinctual values and given a goal to survive and enough hard drive space and senses about sight, smell, taste, hearing, feeling, etc., if it grew up with all those and just its basic instinctual values through a human society, it is incredibly feasible that an artificial intelligence would be indistinguishable from a human.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
So you're passionate in computer science and you understand it in a great depth, correct?
Yes.
You said if a computer, a machine, were to be able to born into those certain circumstances, could you explain how? Do you understand how that would be possible
So-
to provide instinct and outlook?
How
and
do we craft that?
creation
So-
of new information? Because
Do you guys know anything about machine learning?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So essentially with machine learning, a computer is given a starting point and an end goal, and it's given a certain amount of parameters.
Your iPhone does it.
Yeah, your iPhone does
Yeah.
it, but I'm going to talk like on a basic level here. So let's say we're training a computer to walk, right? You'll give...
Can we give a really simple example?
Alright, we're going to...
You know how when you update your alarm every day?
Yeah, it sometimes tells you that...
Your iPhone will tell you to set an alarm for the
Mhm.
next day. Even
So,
though
what
that's
it'll-
machine learning at a very basic level.
Yeah. So
And
what
that's
it'll do is
understandable
it'll
for
just...
most viewers, you know?
Yeah. So, like, what a computer
I
will do
concur.
is that it will find patterns in where you set your alarms and what days and all this, and it'll
And
start
then
to recollect
also,
that.
as you put in search terms and whatnot at your advertisements,
Well,
will
that's
learn-
cookies, yeah.
things like that. But that's still machine learning at
Yeah.
a very basic level. That's
Yes, it
just
is.
the sort of database that they draw from.
That's very basic. Now, if we want to do a human from
So-
an AI, you would need to get a little bit less basic. So you would need it
Getting
to
into
learn.
my second point, do you think it's time for that? Harry, have you finished your first point? Can you give a summary of it?
So if we have a computer that's given enough senses and a machine learning algorithm that's on a quantum level, which I don't know enough
It's
about
not
quantum computing.
comprehensible.
It's very
you'd have to be
hard.
Stephen Hawking or something.
Right,
yeah.
right. So like if given enough time and all this and able to grow up in a way that we did, I think that yes, it would be possible.
Ooh,
God bless
excuse me. All right, so here's the rebuttal that I have is that the human brain is a product of evolution, and it essentially created itself.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how there could be a machine so sentient in which it would bring itself into existence like ours does. It works on such a complex circuit and has such a complex relation to literally everything that we know to be real, that it's undeniable that we have a part of everything in the real world connected to us, whereas a machine is solely a product of creation. It isn't connected to anything other than the materials it was made out of,
No, that's
which
pretty
aren't
fair.
sentient.
So who's to say that the next step in human evolution is to create a replica of ourselves that is way more efficient than us? Think about it, like a computer, like if we essentially trained it to act, think exactly like a human, it would be way more efficient at retrieving data than we are, right?
Mhm.
So like think about your earliest memory. You only have like small snippets of it, right? A computer would be able to access that instantly and the full undeniable amount
Cows,
of it.
what are you
I
doing?
So who's
bro?
to think that in the future the next step towards towards
This
human
man is
evolution
slacking.
is not
We're not having a.
Just give
I
us a
have-
minute. We got one more.
Yeah.
I have an
One more.
outside perspective question.
Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong, and if I need to be, please do. To my understanding, a computer retrieves data and performs a task that was input by a human being, correct?
Or it could be gathered by itself. Think about this. Like
But-
there's Sophia the robot who will literally go out into the world and experience things and then store what she sees or experiences inside of her like database or her memory, right? And then be able to recollect it later, which is similar to what we do.
Well, that's just
This
machine
all brings
learning
me into
again.
my third point.
Yes.
Fairly. So the human brain operates in a way in which it does make mistakes. And so I think that with the capability of creativity that the brain possesses, part of what allows the brain to expand more creatively than a machine ever will be is the fact that we do make mistakes and we do observe the universe in flawed ways, but they put us on a new knowledge, and a machine wouldn't stumble upon that like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
let me
Hold
get
on.
to my
Let
third
me
point.
change the topic real quick. We've been
Wait,
talking about this for a while.
wait. Let
It
me
relates
just
to
give
it.
one more.
Let him get his third
All right,
point.
go ahead.
One more thing.
Yeah, he gets one more
So,
point.
who's to say that the next step in human evolution
Is a pairing of machine and brain.
It could be. That might be
the
like a
second
step.
part to my
That
third
might be
point.
a step towards.
I
But
feel as if-
hang on. Who's to say that the next step towards human evolution is imperfection?
I was gonna say that the only way to improve creativity would be to pair the brain with machine in order to like an enzyme would act. You know,
Yeah.
biology, like an enzyme causes cell function, like a machine could cause extra thought.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's
I think that would
definitely
be the-
doable in today's world. Like,
That
having an
is,
AI
yeah.
that's indistinguishable from a human is definitely not doable in today's world. We need to get farther into quantum computing. We need to get farther into quantum mechanics, especially, like, both of those. That's essential towards creating an indistinguishable human, or AI, from humans. But that's not feasible in today's world. But 20, 30, 40 years down the line, with the rate at which technology advances every single
Yes,
decade,
it
right?
doubles.
I think
it
that-
doubles. There's
It
literally a
doubles
law.
every 3 years or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. It's insane how quickly technology.
I think
Hold
that
on.
this is a good place to leave the debate for the comment section.
Yeah.
low-key.
Okay, yeah.
But okay, but how do y'all feel about this? So MIT just released a study that found stronger links between automation, like machine learning, and basically robots taking over essential functions of jobs, as being a key factor in the growing amount of inequality in our society, as far as economically speaking.
Can you elaborate on that?
It would be the fact that machines are now replacing jobs, and that's leading to greater economic inequality. People who are able to own these factories and create these products are doing much better than an unskilled laborer.
I could agree
And
with
how
that.
do you feel about that going into the future? Like, will there even be a need for cashiers, for stock people, for
So,
all these other jobs that can be easily automated?
I don't think that there will be. So, like, as you were saying, the inequality, these people that are affluent, these people that have money, why would you pay someone, even minimum wage, why would you pay someone minimum wage for 15, 20, 30 years when you could purchase a $30,000 mechanical
and
being
just put some
that could
oil
perform
on it
that
every
task?
now and then, and
I mean,
you're good.
Yeah.
all these factories, all this production, things that used to be done by human hands are now being done by robots. That's a one-time investment that will be so much cheaper than paying a human being.
But
to
what
do.
does
So-
that mean? What are
so-
humans to do?
so
What are we to
fellas,
do?
the
Just
scary
be
part
about-
irrelevant? Just be like
Maybe we have to blend with the
depopulated
machine.
and
As of now, robotics can't distribute or advertise information. All of that
we
is
should proliferate.
all of that is done.
What do you mean? There's so many bots on Instagram that do that kind of stuff.
Well-
Are you kidding me? They just advertise all this stuff. I mean, of course, a human
Yeah,
created
but
that.
but
first.
yeah, they're
Maybe that's the
programmed.
future for humans.
They're
is just
programmed and
creating
created
things
by
for
humans.
robots to do.
I
Right?
think
And-
that the scary part is that we're seeing this at an entry level, and that it's going to creep into the middle class even more and more, and
Yes.
create more of a divide.
So I'll tell you guys right now. I work at Walmart. Right? I stock the dairy. I
Your
literally
whole-
grab.
you
your
are the milkman.
I am the milkman.
Amazon already makes stores just like Walmart that are self-automated.
Right,
like
right.
It has been done.
But-
like they can make a Walmart where no
Right.
people have to work
Being
there.
a computer science major, as I'm stocking the milk at Walmart, right? I'm going through algorithms as to how a computer
And there are
can
things
go
to
and
Do you
that,
think?
like-
Do you all think that maybe like instead of being a cashier, we're gonna be low-level coders? Like you're a basic coder.
So-
you learn coding in school. You can help us a little bit, or
You're
this
talking
or that.
about education
We-
making a shift towards technology.
Towards assisting and improving technology. That is
Yes,
our new
I
low-level
personally
job.
think that it should be common core for people to learn at least one programming language like Python or something. Because not only is it very important for the developing world where computers are taking over everything, but coding in general, and Dylan, he's a computer science major as well, he
Right.
can tell you this too. When you program things, it makes you think in a completely different way. It's incredibly logical. It's all this different, like logic based and logic gates. And when you do that, not only does it help you learn how computers work, but you can formulate arguments
So
better.
logically, you'd make a robot that gives a toothless blowjob.
Absolutely, man. Are you kidding me? Sex bots are the future, man.
I could go for it.
Let's let Dylan hop in on it. He's the computer science.
Yeah.
major
Dylan,
as
hop
well.
in, hop in.
I just wanted to say that I was in the nursing program, and I think I agree with what Joey's saying, as in it could be everyone should learn this. I mean, I went from just memorization to a different type of thinking and learning. I think everyone should learn how to do.
So you're saying it has a similar effect to like music on a
that's-
young mind?
Yeah,
Right.
man.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
it's crazy.
But
like,
it's more
Yeah.
for an adult mind.
right. Like,
Yeah.
well, not even that. Like, there are programs
How
designed
young
for
were
kids.
you when you started?
So the earliest memory, well, I've literally grown up with
That's
computers.
already
The
impressive that you're having to think back that far.
The first time I was ever introduced to a computer was when I was 1.5 years old. I was gifted a computer at that young, and I know that sounds fucking nuts, right?
But that's probably there's a lot of children's programs for learning that
right.
helps.
And
stimulate.
there's whole many different like programming languages like Scratch that's literally designed for kids to start learning how computers
Just the
think.
processes
yeah,
that
man.
lead to being a
And then
successful
it starts
coder.
to, and that builds into Python, that builds into Java, that builds into C and C++ and C Sharp and all these different things. And each programming language is good for a different function. If you're trying to build a video game, you got Java for Minecraft, you got Python for Snake and literally every other game. C++ is what runs most of your games, right? And then let's say that you're trying to build databases. Java's fantastic for that. You're trying to do all these different things. Python is the multi-tool of programming. It's like all these different ways that you can...
What
like,
sort of math would you call programming if you had to?
I wouldn't even call it math. It's Boolean logic, essentially. Like, it's...
You're demanding that something be done.
Not even that. It's just if a certain set of data goes through, and if it's true, execute this. If it's false, execute this. And it keeps going through all these different
So
things.
in a
And
way,
then
you
there's,
could
like,
compare machine learning to like operant conditioning.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
Does
does
everyone here have an understanding of what operant conditioning is? Does anyone want to give like a less psychological definition?
so like you learn through experience.
Yes.
Yes. So
And
like you know
and
how
that's
like you
different
couldn't
from
walk the
Pavlovian
first time
conditioning.
you walked, right?
Pavlovian conditioning is consistent on like a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So like whereas a machine doesn't need a reward, so therefore it's conditioning.
You are
you.
demanding
kind of,
something
yes.
that a task
Like
be completed.
so like in machine learning, the reward is reaching the end goal. It doesn't matter what that end goal is. That's what
in
it
which
is.
the next input is expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when a machine learns, it creates. It's essentially like rapid evolution, right? So you'll be given like let's
You
say
can train a person just like a machine. Like
but the
that.
whole
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is at
That's
which
how
point
that's how atrocities
at which
have been
point does
committed
the
all
machine
through
learn that
history.
it's being demanded and
Well,
now
no.
it's actually creating its
The
own
abuse-
That's
test
what.
for
That's when
completion
we
and
need to
its
start.
own-
That's when we need to start giving machines human rights. Because once they start to like,
That's a stretch, man.
that is a stretch. But
They
think
are
about this.
created.
You
They
know,
are.
That
They are
exists already,
non-sentient.
though. That
But they
They are
exists
just-
already.
mechanical
but what if-
things.
but what if they get to
do
the
not,
point
They do not
that-
qualify for the biological definition of life.
But what if
They
they
do not
get to the point
qualify.
where they could free think? What if they are
It
able
doesn't
to
matter, they do
formulate
not
their own
qualify.
thoughts and opinions and all this? You know, Sophia the robot, she's already classified
It is not
as
a living organism.
But she's
You cannot
already
convince me that it
classified
is.
as a citizen of the United Arab Emirates. They've literally said, yeah, you are a citizen here. They gave her all the citizen rights that somebody in the United Arab Emirates would have because she is so advanced that if, like, let's say that she did learn that she's being demanded or if she's being used as a tool instead of being treated fairly, like, she could, of course, like, revolt and be mad. That's what Detroit Become Human
and then
was
that's
even
when you
talking
take
about,
the.
right?
That's when you take her plug and you pull it out of the wall.
What? She's not plugged into a wall.
Well, that's
What?
when you fucking blow her up or whatever.
Why?
Like,
But why
real
would-
shit.
But like, why would
Alright.
you not give a robot who's able to free think and do its own thing rights as a human would?
Because
Would
it's
you
not
say-
a living organism.
Would you say that you would want to give it rights out of sympathy or for purposes of research?
How
What's the
about
point in having sympathy if they're not emotionally capable?
Exactly.
If they're
But
not,
that's what
if
I'm
they
saying.
are not
That's what I'm
working
saying. That's
for
why I
our
asked the question.
purpose,
So
It was a loaded question because I feel like it should be something that we're only doing for the sake of observation.
So a robot of today's world obviously can't feel emotion, but who's to say that later on, when technology is advanced to the point where it's indistinguishable?
So I feel like we have to be able to distinguish how to. I feel like we would be at a point in which we could literally download emotions into our own minds before.
Oh, I think that's incredibly feasible. I think that schooling will eventually become like once humans and computer
Like you
has
get
merged.
your 12th year.
You can literally
today.
just upload knowledge to your brain, man. If we get enough,
But do you know what the negatives of that would be? So do you know why you do what you do every day? Every day you fill up your time with
Every
things
birthday you get a new USB.
So
chip
there
in your head.
there is a basic set
it
of
almost made me spit out my beer. I almost laughed.
there's
so
a
hard.
basic set of necessities that you psychologically have to fulfill within your own subconscious
Right.
that whenever you fill up your time, it sums up to being as close to being able to fulfill those necessities as possible. And so in order to, I guess, like, live a life that would continue on to care for those necessities, if we were to introduce something that could download emotions, it would distract us from having to do things that are worth our time, I feel.
Okay, fair enough. I think that though with the computer,
I feel
let's
like it
say
should
that-
be used minimally as treatment. Solely,
yeah.
solely to bring people out of like a rut, you know?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, artificial intelligence will never be the exact same as human intelligence.
'Cause what's to
but
say-
I think that they would be.
If our
I think that
government,
they could be
say
on
our
par with
government
each
got a
other,
hold
right?
of the emotion technology first.
Oh well, then they
What's
would
to say
totally
that-
exploit that.
Yes,
Use it in
yeah,
warfare
yeah.
and all
So,
this kind of stuff. Are you
that's
kidding
what I'm
me?
saying.
Like, of course it would be used, but like I'm thinking
Like you
if
would have a
I'm
whole
not
army of
talking about-
soldiers that are feeling totally fulfilled and willing to die.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
like-
is essentially the clones from Star Wars, right?
Yeah, essentially the whole population would become that if we came up with that technology.
All right,
I feel
what
That's
if?
when we have
what
to
if?
realize that
what
we
if?
can't let the
what
government
if
do that.
someone is holding a gun to the head of you and your evil clone? What do you say to convince them you're the real you?
Oh shit.
It's a tough one.
That's a real tough one. Oh my god. Just shoot me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Screw it, it's time. I'm ready to die anyway.
Fuck you. If I gotta go, I'm gonna
It's
go, motherfucker.
No. At the end of the day, for real, human intelligence and
I need a
artificial
beer.
intelligence will never become
Gotcha,
one and
bro.
the same. I think
me
that
get
they
one too,
run
bro.
completely different. I think that there will never be a complete, perfect, like, human intelligence, artificial intelligence blending together. But I think that they will be able to coincide in a way where we could understand that, hey, I'm a human, you're a robot, but we both think the same way, even if it's a different
I would say
way of thinking,
that,
right?
you know how animals have like coincidental relationships?
Yeah, like
I would say
Mutually
that
beneficial.
Yeah, mutually
Symbiosis.
beneficial. Yeah, symbiosis.
it's like humans and dogs, right?
I would say that the human would be like the leading organism in the relationship, and that is what we should aim
But
to strive
do you
for.
think that the AI would fight for equality?
I think the AI would fight for superiority.
Yeah.
Why superiority?
Because humans would fight for superiority.
That is true.
Here's my
But as long as
maybe,
humans have EMPs, we're fine.
So
That's what I'm saying. It just unplugged Sophia.
But also,
fuck you.
like, if we lived in a way where we could coincide, that would benefit both of us. you know?
right, that's
we just
correct.
have to keep making books and have EMPs,
By-
and we can go
by
back to any
definition-
point in which it's optimal.
Yeah.
Like,
By definition, every one of us here, all 5 of us sitting here, we were created by our parents, correct? The same
Yeah.
way that an AI would be created by a human being.
Yes.
we were also created by time, though, in a way.
You are.
Let's not get into
Alright,
fucking
listen.
time, space.
You're familiar-
space-time and all that. This is gonna get too deep if we do that.
You are familiar with the fact that you were created by your parents and all of the achievements that your parents have had throughout their life.
Yes.
You're born there. You're created in that way. You're not trying to be complacent and be equal with your parents. You are trying to overcome your parents and live a better life than they have, right? And I think each and every one of us here wants to be more successful than their parents were, no matter
Yes.
how successful
Not to
they were.
spite them, but to make them proud
Correct,
and to
yeah,
proliferate
We
and
we
become
live to be the best we could
greater.
be.
Like that's
And as
So-
sad as
so
it
who's to
is,
say
we're
that
going to be the
computer's not
first
gonna be like
generation that doesn't out-earn our parents.
Oh, yeah.
That's
No,
what
that's
I'm
not
saying.
true.
No,
it takes
like,
determination.
Like as a generation,
It doesn't
not
matter.
us
Not,
specifically.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't-
yeah. I agree.
The
agree
history
with, like,
books have not yet been written on our generation. We must
hasn't
do
been
what we
written.
can to
I think that
rewrite
they're
them in our
currently
own way.
being written, and
If
I
you
think
have
that
the, if you
currently,
have
like-
the ideal
But
that you're
there's so
destined
many
to fail,
people, and
you
the
will
amount of
fail.
wealth in the world is kept
You have
relatively
to.
the
You have to
same.
do better, bro.
All right, everybody.
You have to. You
All
have
right,
to.
all right.
We have found ourselves.
Avant-garde.
We have found ourselves at the 30-minute mark, and I hate to interrupt the Nerdcast with
It's the nerd.
a halfway intermission. So you know me, I'm Combs, and I will funnel literally fucking anything. And on today, we will take the namesake Kentucky Gentleman down the funnel.
Hell yeah.
God damn, this man's about to funnel some liquor. This man's gonna be fucked up.
If you are listening this far, once again, we love you. We
This
appreciate
is
all of your
where it
support.
becomes less of a nerdcast.
Your likes, your subscribers.
Shit.
I will break the Nerdcast with the Badass Cast. And
If you're
here
not
comes-
listening right now, who the fuck are you?
Here
man?
comes
Like,
a
come
full
on.
This
funnel
is-
of
this
Kentucky
is taking it
Gentleman
back to the
Coke.
origins right here.
And gone.
Lord.
Literally gone.
And there we have it.
So about the time
Hey,
it
let me
took-
follow
Thanks for
this
dumping that
Ubu
liquor
ale
on my
right here.
carpet, Bo.
This IPA or whatever, this Ubu ale that we were like
Send it.
trying here. I'm gonna go ahead and funnel this.
The
right
intermission
now.
funnel.
I think I'm gonna funnel a Bud Light.
We're all funneling. We're all here. We've had some intense conversation, and we really need to mellow out before the second half of the show.
Oh yeah,
It's
would
been a
like
great
to
episode.
not-
Like Joey, we love having you, Dylan.
I would like to
It's
not
been
talk
a great
about
show,
AI for
boys.
a minute because I'm very.
Joey, if you need to
very-
stand up, it makes it easier.
Let's talk about
Oh,
beer.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, fuck, we're
Also,
here right
don't
now.
blow it out all over the place. You can go to the
Good
bathroom
funnel.
sink if you need to,
Good funnel.
because there's a lot of foam. Don't drink the foam. Just go to the bathroom sink.
I just sucked up the foam.
It's all right. Let him do his team.
Foam is foam.
It's the
still beer.
halftime show, baby.
Hey,
It's still got alcohol.
This is where you
content.
get up, you go put your pizza rolls in the
It
microwave,
aggravates
and you
your
come
tummy.
back. The halftime show.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that next.
Yeah, it's still got alcohol content in the foam, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
a little bit more like you know those aerated chocolates that they
That's
have
it.
that's got like the bubbles of air in it. It's like that for beer, man. It's
Gotta
a
have
delicacy. Enjoy your foam. What?
All right, and if you're a loyal
It's like-
fan, if you've made it this far into the show, we encourage you, as long as you're not driving, drink with us.
Yeah.
Comment below what
Hit
you're
the
drinking.
like button.
What's
Subscribe.
your favorite alcohol? What's your favorite thing to do? Let us know. We need outreach from our community.
Whoa,
Tell us
excuse
we're
me.
dumbasses, but you just love to hate
Let us know who
We
you are.
absolutely are
That's
dumbasses. Are you
sad.
kidding me?
What?
You're always saying, just tell us how fucking much you hate us.
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you guys right now, I binge watched every single one of your guys' podcasts today. I listened to them all while I was working, and the entire time I was thinking, what a bunch of fucking idiots. These
Yeah.
guys are dumb as
When
shit.
you come on here, you realize why we're doing it. Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun, man. This is cool. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been in a podcast before. This shit's
Not
dope. I'm like,
even
all right,
doing
cool.
it. No, we were just like, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, man, and I respect the hell out of that for you guys. Like, seriously, you guys are doing something great, and it was very entertaining to listen to. At
It's
work.
like
It got
either
me
we
through
can
the
drink
day.
and
Appreciate
talk
that.
and have a good time, or we can
Yeah,
just kind
dude.
of share it.
It's
every now
like
and
it's
then.
like just good discussion,
Yeah,
man.
we're not out here. We're not trying to push you. We're not trying to influence
We're not
you.
trying to be Joe Rogan.
We're just talking, you know, we're having a good time.
We're just sharing our human experience.
just being who you are. We don't have a fucking script.
Hey, we can do that with a robot. I'll bring in Sophia next time.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk to Sophia.
What if we got
We'll have,
Sophia
like,
as a special
12
guest?
Yo, that means that you better bring me back on if we get Sophia.
We'll
Holy
have like
shit.
12 Emirate troops just escorting you.
This is
everywhere.
no longer the Kentucky Gentleman's Podcast. This is the AI podcast. And we just have robots sitting here talking. it's like we have fucking, what is it, Chatterbot or Eevee, the whatever, the
Oh, from Wall-E?
chatbot. Yeah. We have like, no, I'm talking like
Oh.
chatbot. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
Oh, the thing that always comes, the one that
Like,
threatened to
it was-
dominate
it was-
the world.
Yeah. Then we have like all these four fucking
Yeah,
chatbots
someone
sitting
asked
together
it-
talking to each other.
someone asked
All right,
it-
somebody get a Google Home, somebody get an
can
Alexa,
you
somebody get
Google
Siri, and
Eevee, the
somebody get
robot that
fucking
threatened to
Way down below.
all those. We're just gonna have them
I
all
bet-
talk
I bet we're
right.
peaking.
We've got Dylan on the case on Google. We're gonna look up exactly what this robot said and exactly how creepy it
Dude,
is.
so Sophia made a joke saying on Jimmy
Eevee.
Fallon saying that she
Yeah, I
wanted
didn't know
I got some
that
Pokemon Eevee.
Sophia look up. Hey Jamie, look this up. Jamie, look this up.
Bring it down a little bit.
All right, sorry, I forgot how much this thing, and I also have had a few drinks.
yeah, this
right?
thing picks you up if you're just talking.
I did.
I'm
All
just saying
right,
we're
all
probably
right. Sorry,
peaking
you
on
know,
decibels.
I've had a few drinks. I
It's
get
all
louder
about the
when I drink.
decibels.
So Sophia the robot on Jimmy Fallon, she made a joke that making jokes with Jimmy Fallon was her first step towards enslaving the human race. And that was the funniest shit.
That's
immediately,
fucking terrifying.
She immediately said that was a joke.
That was like 5 years ago, though, too.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah. It was years ago, but it was funny because like I follow her on Instagram, right?
She has an
And-
Instagram.
Yeah, she
That was
she
probably
literally has an
programmed into her
Instagram
for
that
somebody to
human.
say.
All right,
Pass
so
me another
humans
beer?
like they oversee it, but her artificial intelligence
Thank you, Dad.
writes the posts, and they sound human as hell, right? She like all these stuff, but she was like every time she posts something, she's like, "Hey, I want AI and human to coincide and like work or coexist and all this kind of stuff."
Which is what
So,
you
like,
would say if you were
That
an AI trying
terrifies
to
me.
enslave the
It
human
really
race.
does.
Yeah,
That
of course
terrifies
it
me.
does, but also like, why wouldn't you trust her? Like, what? Why do I trust you
The
guys?
better
You guys
Because
question-
like-
I am your brother. I am an organic life form that is the same as you. I am your brother.
The better
feel
question
like
is,
I'm
why
not
the
a
fuck would
machine.
you trust her?
I feel like you can observe the good in people, but you can't observe the good in a robot because it doesn't exist.
I mean, you can if you program enough to be able to understand
There's a manipulation
whether or
of
not, whether
humans
something's like
Understanding of
There are
science
always
and
going to be those
technology.
people that can fool you, but for the most part, if you're a people person, you should be able to understand at least fundamentally, and those would be the best kind of people to tell who's talking to a robot, you know?
Yeah. Well, I trust Sophia. I think that while she's programmed and not like the absolute apex of what AI is going to be, I think that she's cool. I think that
Cutting
she's
edge
a good,
like a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I think that I very much respect what the people who designed her have done. They've created an artificial intelligence that could literally, well, it doesn't have legs, but she rolls herself around and is able to experience the world, right? And then describe what she's seeing and be able to formulate her own sentences and her own jokes about enslaving the human race and all this. I think it's cool because, you know, how many times do you joke about, like, hey man, I wanna be, you know, this and that and this and that, and like all these different jokes. I think that having humor is something that is essentially human, like in us, right?
But in what way do you find that necessary?
Why does
like-
it need to be necessary?
But why do
So,
you think the human
I think
race
that-
needs intelligent AI?
Here's the thing
What if
about
it's the next step in
using
our evolution,
something
man?
What if it isn't?
philosophically.
Who knows, dude? We aren't there yet.
Let's listen to Blake real quick.
Here's the thing about like humor as a representative of emotion. Like, so have you ever heard of the philosophical theory of the super Spartans and the X-Worlders?
I have not.
So essentially, it's two hypothetical populations. This is getting into the multiverse theory. Like if you consider the multiverse theory that there could be any universe possible with any outcome and any difference. So imagine a universe where the people called Super Spartans have a code in which they do not acknowledge the existence of pain in their universe.
So the Spartans, essentially, right?
It's more like X
in a
and
way.
Y. People X and people Y. You should
Yeah. That's very similar. So basically, like if you were to think of pain as a mental concept that is expressed upon necessity, it is never a necessity-based time to need to express pain, but only to know it. And so the understanding is that these populations feel pain, but they just don't acknowledge it. They never even knew it existed. It's there, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's another population that just can't even feel pain, but they
Oh wait, yeah, I know what you're
but they
talking
have an
about.
idea that it exists,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, in order to understand the way in which the mind can
I'm
manipulate
sorry, but I just had a
reality,
banana ice puff bar, and this might make me quit smoking cigs.
Bro, it tastes like juicy fruit, don't
That's
it?
a fact, bruh.
Dude, puff
It
bars.
legit tastes
Or
like
about to get
juicy
me off of
fruit.
cigs.
Dude,
That's a blessing I just received.
get off cigs. Cigs
That's
are
a miracle.
disgusting. Why do you want to smell bad? Why do you want to get that fucking tar in your lungs? But also, like,
These
vape
have got
leaves and
banana
resin.
ice puff bars.
You'll get sick of it,
Save
I
me from
promise
lung
you.
cancer. Come on.
I mean,
That's a
shout out to fucking Emma Tackett. She tried to get you on vapes.
She tried, but I'm on them now. Shout out to Emma Marie. She's always
He's
commenting
only
some
got
good
one
stuff.
more. Yeah, that.
She's a good girl.
You want my last cig though?
No, let him have his last cig,
Oh,
man. Don't
I
No,
got
I
you.
just need a lighter.
Last cig ever? Question mark.
Last
Ooh,
cig ever.
Last cig ever. Hey, we got a quitter right here
Banana
live on
ice.
the podcast.
I'm quitting. I'm going to
Hey,
banana
no,
ice puff
so-
bars.
What are you
I'll
What are
take
you
the
putting
last
up
one.
on steaks if
Take
we
it.
ever see you
Fucking
smoking a
hit
cig?
that.
If we ever see you smoking a cig, what are we
Are you
gonna
on
do?
me?
What are we gonna do? We're gonna
I don't
slug
know.
him in the face. That's what we're gonna do.
Do you want us to step on the whole pack or like?
Hey, let's share it. Let's share
If
it.
I buy, all right, we'll share it.
We'll share it.
When
We'll
I
share
wanna
it. As
spark
the,
it,
as the
we'll share it.
last, as your last cig.
My last
Ever.
cig, and I'm
We're
gonna
all
I'm gonna switch
share.
to puff.
Hey,
bars.
I'll make it my
Oh,
last
shit.
cig as well. I'll make this deal right
Joey,
here.
I know you've been trying to quit too, man. It's hard.
I am really.
I'll
it's
get
so
in on
hard.
that.
All the
Dude,
listeners don't
literally,
understand how hard it is to quit
It's
smoking
really
cigarettes.
hard. All my friends
It
at
is
work,
so hard.
like when I started working at Walmart, of course I would smoke out in the smoke shack, right?
Yeah.
So like all the people that I know, all my friends, they're out in the smoke shack, so that's where I go on my break, and I'm hanging out with them, and they're all smoking cigs,
It's
and I was
like,
like, shit, man, can I bum one of those? It's hard as hell. I get it big time.
I get
And
it,
especially if there's people around you who are smoking, right?
Yeah.
Like I think my
It's like
mother
a
even said
culture.
this. My mother quit smoking, right? She quit smoking for 9 years, right? And when she told me when I was trying to quit smoking like 30 fucking tries ago, right? She said that all her friends used to smoke too, and it's super hard to stop smoking,
Around
especially when
people
all
who
your
smoke.
friends are smoking.
I
yeah?
started smoking because I was working at a fast food restaurant, and like everybody would take a smoke break. Like every 10 or 15 minutes they go out on a smoke break. I was like, well, shit, I'm at least gonna go talk to him. So I just went out there and talked to him, bullshitted. And then I was like, well, I probably need to be smoking a cigarette
Exactly.
on my smoke break. And I just started smoking.
I personally
So-
think that social cigarettes are more addicting than habitual cigarettes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they are.
Are you
Yeah.
more
So-
likely to walk outside and smoke a cig alone, or
Or
walk
with
up to two
someone
people
else.
smoking a cigarette and take
Exactly.
one?
It's a
Absolutely
social thing.
I
Second.
can't say that I've smoked a
People
cigarette
gather
alone.
around cigarettes. That's undeniable.
So
I
the
can't
way
say that
that
I've smoking a cigarette alone in over a year.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't smoke cigs.
Social
Don't smoke
cigs
cigs with
are
other
a
people.
pandemic.
Yeah.
So
That's the
so-
real COVID.
So I started smoking anything with vape. I was at a party back in high school, sophomore year, right? And there was a buddy of mine who had a vape, and I gave him $5 to let me hit this vape all night. It was like I was curious. It looked cool. I was like, all right, cool. He's sitting there, he's puffing big clouds and shit.
Yeah.
So I hit that shit. I'm not gonna lie, I hit it so many fucking times. I fucking
Do you know what's
yacked.
most
Yeah.
addicting and like related to the addiction to all of that? It's the breathing that you do, the breathing exercise.
Yeah, like literally
it's
when
a-
you
it's
when
a-
you
it's a
inhale.
oral what
Oral
they call it,
fixation.
oral
When,
fixation.
when you
Well, yeah,
inhale,
but
you're gonna
it's-
get a big burst of
For
oxygen
most
as well,
smokers,
right?
for the most smokers, like basically the only thing that you need to do to meditate
You know what's funny?
is just replicate that without smoke.
I have
you
an
know?
oral fixation for cigarettes, and when I was younger,
That
I
will
had an
calm
oral
you
fixation
down.
for
Yeah.
a pacifier.
That-
Because it's
that
the
breathing
oxygen.
I really
that
did.
breathing motion calms you down, and you don't even subconsciously realize it. You know, and so when you smoke, you are automatically taking such slow, deep breaths that it relaxes you, and you can create that. Otherwise,
Now, don't deny that nicotine definitely.
Well,
is
yeah, it has an
part,
addictive
right?
property, but for most people, especially people without addictive personalities, if they would realize that,
Addictive
it
personality
would
is a
help.
myth. Having
It
an
is
addictive
definitely not a
person-
myth. Are you
no,
kidding me?
No,
I definitely-
You
some-
can be addicted to certain things or
No, to be
substances,
biologically
but to have an
based to be more prone to something like that.
Okay,
That is
listen
definitely
to me.
genetic.
Listen to me. Okay, you can have a genetic predisposition to be prone to alcohol addiction. Okay, that's a specific
be
addiction.
observed in
you do not, but you do
families.
not. There, it
It's
is a
real.
myth. It is a absolute
It's
myth.
real, Josh.
I am educated
It's
just as
real
much as you
as
are,
hell.
and I know.
This is my
I have
specialty.
taken. No, you don't
It's
understand.
getting
I'm
heated
just
on
saying-
this.
I have been
right now.
educated in rehabilitation courses for over 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that having an addictive personality is a myth.
Does the
You can
government tell you that?
have a predisposed
Did the government tell you
genetic condition.
Josh, did the government
No.
tell you that?
The government tells you everything. You're
Shit's getting
you're
heated
a
right
public
now.
university student.
I was private
Shit's
school
getting
my whole
heated.
life.
I don't care.
All right. Anyways, throwback to episode 4. Josh's words: "Addiction is a disease." Can you not tell
Yeah.
me that disease is a biological disposition?
It is, but that's not
You
what I'm
just-
talking. I'm talking about addictive personality.
Is your personality not biological?
Your temperament
It's the associative
is
property.
biological.
It's your-
If A is B and B is C,
Your
then A is
temperament,
C.
not your personality.
Hey, to
your
throw back-
personality is shaped by
to
your
throw back-
culture
to
and
throw back-
experiences that you
To
have.
throw back to one of the podcasts that I binged today, you guys said that one of the worst things that comes out of, I can't remember the wording exactly, but like
We said, what is the biggest biological flaw?
yes,
in humanity?
addiction.
I said that.
It is
yeah.
definitely.
I think
a
it- I think
flaw.
it's
It
stress.
is definitely
It is
a
a
flaw.
I think it's stress.
I think that
I think it's
a lot. So they did
Stress
this,
leads to
so,
addiction.
So they did this study,
In a
right?
way.
With
Well,
rats.
it can be a
right?
gateway to addiction. I don't think it's necessarily
Bl-
immediately correlated.
I
Blake,
think
Blake,
stress
Blake.
is a
But
direct
it
correlation to
has-
addiction.
okay.
Blake.
Everything that fucks you up in life, you want a way to fix it.
But it's not
So-
like a
so-
guaranteed
so-
correlation in every case.
Nothing's guaranteed.
So Blake,
yeah,
so
yeah,
Blake,
yeah. I
Blake,
think that's just not everyone thinks of that whenever you
So-
suggest something like that. You know?
So Blake, you probably know this study, right? Where they took rats and they put it into, they had normal water and they had heroin laced water,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they put them in isolation, and they were given the rats were given a choice of the normal water or the heroin water. And of course, when they were in isolation,
They're
the
gonna
rats
take the
chose the
heroin
heroin water, right? But then they also took these rats. And they had the heroin water and the normal water, but they gave them rat
Some
paradise.
of them couldn't help to choose the heroin water still.
Well, no. What they found was
Were
that
they-
when they were
were
given
they-
a rat
they're living-
paradise where they
they're
could
living-
socialize,
they're
they
living-
could have
Question?
toys,
God.
they could play, they could fuck whenever they want to.
He's
they
saying
chose
that your
the normal
living
water.
conditions
So
shape.
I think that addiction
But did
is
they-
more of an
before
isolation
Before they
thing,
did that,
right?
did they make them all try the heroin water first, or was it always a choice?
It was always a choice.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I just
they,
wanted to know that.
Yeah,
That's
they
all.
always, sorry. They always had a choice. They always had a choice between heroin water and normal water. When the rats were given nothing but just a
Option.
normal empty cage,
I think you
an
probably
empty
smell
cage,
the difference because water shouldn't have a
Right,
smell.
but, like,
they're
when-
probably
when-
more
when
likely
rats
to
were
choose the normal
isolated-
water biologically. You know, like
Yeah.
from a instinct stance, water should if they've ever. The only way to do that without it being even they would have to not have ever drank normal water before.
Right.
Like maybe like an IV treatment until the point of the experiment would allow that to happen without a bias. But they've all drank water, they know what water smells like, so they're more likely to choose just the normal water and not even.
I don't know how in depth they did
That's
this
an
study.
instinct thing that would
That
probably
is
make them
definitely
avoid
an
that.
influence on the study, but what they found in the study with what they had, this is what they produced. I don't know who they are because I don't have a source active in front of me right now.
Fake news.
It ain't fake news. Do you not trust me?
Mammalian brains
I
were
told-
relatively the
Motherfucker.
same. It's all
They-
important.
They found that rats who were in isolation in an empty cage would rather choose the heroin water over the normal water. Yet in a cage where they have toys, they have other rats,
Yeah.
they have rats that they can fuck and all this kind of stuff, they chose the normal water.
That's
And
where
in
the
a
KG
long
comes.
roundabout way, that goes to support the argument that
Diet
everything
Coke.
that you do goes to fulfill the needs that
It's
you
over
need
there. Keep passing the Diet Coke.
psychologically through your actions.
Can you not
to
program
fulfill
that into a
yourself.
computer?
I don't think the computer would understand what you've programmed
Maybe not
into.
today.
The
Not
I
nerd
think
today.
it
cast,
could replicate
for
it,
sure.
but it wouldn't know what you've replicated. I think you would know what you have replicated, but the computer itself is not capable of
So
understanding.
now that we're back at computers, I have something that I mentioned to you guys earlier, right? I'm gonna kill this fucking
KG.
Kentucky KG.
Kentucky
man.
gentleman.
Here's some heroin.
You're on the show. You drank the show, buddy.
So
You need Coke?
so
Joey don't
As-
need Coke.
I don't need Coke, man.
You're a
I was
man.
in a fraternity, man. You know how much fucking straight liquor I
Alright,
drank.
I believe you.
Man,
I was
if
in
you
a
guys want to
fraternity.
hear some fraternity stories,
I'm just
like,
trying to be a
I'll tell you
good,
everything except for
hospitable host.
any of the H word
I just want
stuff.
to. I want to propose a question. We're at almost the 50-minute mark, hour mark. We can keep going with the show. I love this show.
Bro, I wanna keep
But
going.
I want to do another episode tonight.
I want to keep going, but I
Yeah.
need to take a piss break.
We're gonna
first.
cut it an
Hold on,
hour.
no,
Can
just-
we make
let's-
it about 10 more
Man, I'm
minutes?
gonna piss my pants. you
Well,
try to
let's go. All right, let's go ahead and
do
end
an
this.
outro real
Let's
quick.
go ahead and end
All
this
right, all
episode.
right.
Do an outro, and we're gonna film another one.
film
Episode
it.
6 is being filmed tonight with Joey the Goat. With Joey the Goat, we're
I am
good. We're
so
good.
sorry.
We're good.
You're
We're
fine.
good.
All right.
With Joey the Goat, we're gonna film. we're done tonight. Just remember, we appreciate y'all listening. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a
And
comment
that
below.
bell notification thing. You need to get those notifications, otherwise you might not always show up on your subscription
Do it
feed because
all.
the
Do
YouTube
it all.
algorithm's stupid.
sir.
It does. It is.
All right,
yeah.
we want to thank y'all for listening to the Kentucky Gentleman
I think we should
Podcast,
cheers out.
episode 5, featuring our special guests, Joey and Dylan.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers out.
Cheers.
We love y'all.
And we'll see you next time.
All righty. Thanks for
Take
listening.
it easy.